Hey everybody, and welcome back. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend this weekend. We did get some progress done on the van, so I wanted to check in, kind of go through a couple of those things, work on some TV mount for the back, worked on some shelving, worked on some curtains, and we made a fold down shelf for outside the van for cooking, or I'd like to say an outdoor bar. So let me take you on a quick tour of some of those items. So in the back here, if you recall, when we mounted this in a previous video, I put 1/2-inch plywood behind because I wanted to get some good bite with screws on there. And the purpose for me is, again, we weren't mounting any cabinets on there because you know we have benches and your head's going to be there, and I didn't want to be banging into anything. So, but what we did do is I ordered on Amazon an articulating arm that will hold a tablet for us, and we mount our iPad in there. And I'll do a little segment on that because we also ordered a wireless Bluetooth Bose speaker for $129, and it works great with the iPad. So when you're watching a movie, you can have the speaker somewhere over here, and what happens is, you know, you get a great, almost like a great sound for movies, and not to mention when you're just playing some music in here. So that was the TV we mounted in. We also mounted in shelves in here, and I haven't mounted them down yet for these. This one here I'm going to Velcro in because I want to be able to lift it up and gain access to the wheel well storage down below. And we have this here. Notice on the edge of the shelves I mounted quarter round, because one of the things I'm noticing is, and I've seen this in other videos, the stuff on the shelves as you're driving ends up working itself loose. And we live in Pennsylvania, which are honestly some of the worst roads I've ever experienced in my driving around this country. So it's a good test of keeping things in the cabinets. So you can see on these we mounted the quarter round on all of these as well. So that's kind of worked out really well. So we have our shelves in, we have our TV mount in, we have put some quarter round in to keep it. My wife is making curtains until we get cabinets made, cabinet doors made. She's putting up curtains in front of some of these shelves, and they're kind of cool. I like them. So they've been working out well. We did start making this cabinet, and I'm going to make a separate video on this cabinet. I did begin to make the template for it, and this was, you know, just a square piece. This is 15.5-inch high and 10-inch coming out. So, and it was square, and one of the things, you know, because this is slanted, you know, the top of this slants this way, we had to mount, we had to put the van in the driveway so that it's level this way, side to side. And I did learn that on a video on a YouTube channel. I think it's on the trail with Bart. He has a great build out of a ProMaster, and I learned this little tip from him. But what we did is, when I mounted this up there, I kind of held the level, you know, so this was straight, and I kind of held the level and underneath this piece of wood until we reached level, and then measured the gap here at the bottom, like what was that gap. So, and it ended up being 3/4 of an inch. So once I got that, I kind of went up to the top, measured in from the edge 3/4 of an inch, drew a perfectly diagonal line down to from the corner up in 3/4 of an inch, cut that off, and that became the template for our cabinet to go up. So we'll have 3 supports for the cabinet. It'll be 52 inches long, and there'll be 26 inches on either side. But I'll do a video on that because that's going to be kind of an involved project. I did start to cut the pieces for that. They're downstairs. But again, I'm going to do a separate video on that just because it's really involved, and that's something I'm going to work on in the air conditioning this week. So let's come out here. So this is my favorite build of the weekend. So what we did, if I unlatch it here, we've made an outdoor area. This is the perfect size for our Coleman propane camp stove. I like to think of it as my outdoor bar. and it was really simple to make. You saw in a previous video, we purchased this piece of wood at a craft store, and I just got some some old farm-looking Thie hinges, and if you'll notice, you kind of hear a little bit of a squeak, perhaps. That was a really loud squeak earlier because I'm terrible at mounting hinges, and I always mount them too tight. So this piece of the hinge is flush up against here. So that was a horrendously loud noise. But what I learned from a carpenter was take a bar of soap, and I use Dove in this case because it's non-scented, and it won't leave any industrial lubricant mark on the wood. So I took a fresh bar of Dove, and I just kind of put it on this side of the hinges, and then took pieces of it in my finger, and then kind of just went underneath of it with my finger. And actually now it's, you know, right at the end there's a little bit, and now there's really nothing, and this thing really just creaked all the way down there. So, but the soap has really made a difference. So good note for you for, you know, tip of the week. If you're looking for lubricant for hinges, soap is a great option because it doesn't leave any industrial mark in your paint. It's just really clean, and it's really easy to put on. And we took some paracord, if you will, and just tied it off to some eyelets. And then I needed a way to mount it. So what we did is just took a little clasp here, and then I mounted a clasp up here. And when we put this up, I push him in, and he locks into place, and he's perfectly nice and out of the way there. And when I want to let him down, you know, he just kind of comes down. So this is something, when we first saw vans being built online, even before we built one of the things I said to my wife is, I have to have one of these, because that was just the coolest looking thing, and now we have one. So we're really happy about that. So those are the things that we've worked on this weekend. We've got entertainment now in the back. We have curtains going up. I have more shelves now for storage. Storage is really a fickle thing in the van. One of the things that we did spend a little time this weekend trying to figure out is, what are we storing and where are we storing it? Like, where are our clothes going? Where is our food going? And every time we've used it, it's like, nope, I'd rather have clothes over here. Nope, I'd rather have food over there. And so that's really been an interesting piece. And this bench that we built some time back in a previous video, there's still a whole side of this bench that we haven't even really done much with yet. It's just containers for different pads and so forth that are rolled up and put in there. So we have a whole storage there to go. So that's something that we need to contend with in the van is, you know, what are we doing with the storage, and what are we storing? Where are we storing it? So that's kind of what we've done this weekend, and we're going to work this week on the shelves, the overhead cabinet for up here, and I'll video the process of that along the way. I just cut the wood out from the template today, and I'll go through with the video just showing you what we're doing and that whole process, because it's going to be a little involved, and I know I would have loved to have seen some more videos on YouTube showing me how to do that. So we do have the fold out here. I'm a happy man. The fold out did come up a little bit higher, but I'm trying to keep this whole open area open because I don't want to lose my view when we're sitting in here. So I did cut it so that it's just the same height as the countertop here, but it's the perfect size, exactly widthwise. Rolled it out, put our Coleman stove on there. It's perfect, and I've gone online and looked at newer Coleman stoves, which we will probably get at some juncture, and made sure its dimensions will fit this as well. So we'll be in good shape there. So until next time, that's what I have for this week's update, and look forward to videos coming out on the build of the overhead cabinets. So this is Ken. Peace. Like the video. If you like the content we're putting out, consider subscribing to the channel. Share the video if you think about it. And until next time, peace. We'll see you on down the road. 3 weeks to Asheville, North Carolina. We'll see you down there. Bye-bye.